When you sit down and have a really, really good cup of coffee, you don't need to be doing anything else. You can just sit there and enjoy a really good cup of coffee. I think what I love most about roasting is that it's constantly challenging. One of the challenges of working with coffee is also the same thing that makes it really great. It's affected by so many different things. You can walk in one day and it's totally different than it was the day before. So you have to be able to constantly adjust.
I think the thing that keeps me coming back and has kept me so excited is that there's always something to learn and you're never quite master what you're trying to do, which is exciting.
There's a lot that happens to the coffee bean during the roasting process. Coffee starts off green. It's basically a cherry pit. So the first part of the roast is basically drying the coffee bean out. Sweetness is the first and foremost thing that we think about. The coffee bean starts to brown, the bean starts to caramelize, and the last portion of the roast is basically balancing out all of the chemical reactions that are happening. And that creates the difference between a light roast to a darker French roast.
Typical day, we come in the morning and there's a bunch of samples from production that were roasted the day before. We'll set up a cupping, which is a fancy term for a sensory analysis of our coffees. We're looking for consistency between the roasts, the quality of the green beans, acidity, mouthfeel, sweetness. All the coffee that we buy and receive is sorted and looked through for physical defects. So those physical defects will tell you something about how the coffee is going to taste and how it's going to roast.
We always want to roast the coffee as well as it can be roasted. Smelling it and it's like, okay, at this point I'm smelling like butterscotch. That's a great thing to be smelling. And I want every cup to just bring out the best of the coffee roast level.
The types of things that we talk about here with coffee quality, all that becomes part of a dialogue with the producer groups themselves.
The best way to honor the farmers who grow the coffee is to respect the fact that coffee is unique. Everywhere that it comes from has a slightly different profile. The coffee coming from a different place is an expression of that place and an expression of the farmer's hard work, because it takes a lot to harvest coffee.
I'm always learning something from every cupping. Roasting is the same way. We take this work very seriously. It's the last link in a very long chain that took a tremendous amount of work to get to you. It's just really exciting, and obviously the work that we do with Purdue is super important, and I feel like I'm a big piece of that.
During the summer, roasting is different than it is during the winter, and the beans are constantly changing. So you're constantly adjusting. But when you get into the flow of things and everything is going right, like one of the best things in the world.